Assalamualaikum, we are from Group 2 and we will be presenting ADS514 Education Policy, the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025. This is our group members. In October 2011, the Ministry of Education began a 15-month review of Malaysia's education system. They gathered input from international experts, local universities, teachers, parents, students and the public. This led to the creation of the Malaysia Education Blueprint, which assessed the current system against global standards. The blueprint set a new vision for education in Malaysia and proposed 11 key changes to improve the system and help students succeed. The Malaysia Education Blueprint highlights 7 problems in the education system. Firstly, Malaysia's performance in international assessments like PISA and TEAMS shows challenges in student achievement. In PISA 2012, Malaysia ranked 52nd out of 65 countries, below the global average in reading, math and also science. In 2011, TEAMS Malaysia's rankings in math and science also dropped. Secondly, there are significant gaps between urban and rural schools. Rural schools face issues like poor infrastructure, limited access to technology and a shortage of qualified teachers, leading to lower educational outcomes. The Ministry of Education has also noted that rural students have fewer digital skills, widening the gap with urban students. The third problem is teaching methods focus too much on memorization and exams, limiting the development of creativity, critical thinking and high-order thinking skills like problem solving and innovation. Next, teachers often lack proper training and ongoing support. While many teachers met basic qualifications, the blueprint points out that there is a gap in teaching quality due to limited professional development opportunities and insufficient support systems, which affected the overall effectiveness of teaching and learning. Next, while Malaysia ranks 3rd in Asia for English proficiency, there are concerns about students' actual command of the language, especially in rural areas. Experts argue that the rankings may not fully reflect students' true abilities and stress the need for better English language education. Moreover, the education system lacked proper mechanisms to track progress and hold schools accountable for student outcomes. The absence of clear performance standards made it difficult to assess the success of educational initiatives and implement necessary improvements to enhance the quality of education. Lastly, despite significant investments in education, Malaysia faced challenges in efficiently allocating resources. Reports indicate that increased spending did not correspond with improved student learning outcomes, suggesting inefficiencies in resource utilization.
Now, I will explain about the first objective of the Malaysia Education Blueprint. The first objective for this policy is to understand the current performance and the challenges of the Malaysian education system. One of the important strategies that fulfill this objective is to provide equal access to a quality education of an international standard for all children, no matter their background. Whether they come from rich or poor families or face challenges like disabilities, every child deserves the same opportunity. To achieve this, the government has strengthened the national curriculum by focusing on higher order thinking skills, creativity, communication and problem solving. Malaysia is also working to make its education system more competitive internationally by aligning the teaching of the language, science and math with global standards. For example, introducing KSSR primary and KSSM secondary curriculum will emphasize on critical thinking, problem solving and creativity, creating top-up modules to address student gaps found in international assessment like TEAMS and PISA. Second strategy is to ensure every child is proficient in Bahasa Malaysia and the English language and is encouraged to learn in additional language. To strengthen the language skill among students, the government has standardized the curriculum across all schools, including a national and national type school, to ensure equal access to a quality Bahasa Malaysia education. No matter the school type, every student now gets the same opportunity to master the national language. At the same time, the government introduced a Linus 2.0 and improved program that skills students from Year 1 to Year 3 to track their proficiency not only in Bahasa Malaysia but also in English. These have identified students who need extra support urgently, making sure no one is left behind. For example, the government has launched a large-scale teacher upskilling program in which all 70,000 English teachers were required to take the Cambridge Placement Test, and those who did not meet the required standard were enrolled in intensive training programs to upgrade their skills.
Next, to establish a clear vision and aspirations for individual students. One of the strategies that falls under this objective is developing values-driven Malaysians, aimed at nurturing ethical, responsible, and patriotic students. It promotes moral values and national identity rooted in the Rukun Negara while encouraging leadership and civic duty through community service. Supporting initiatives include enhanced Islamic and moral education, mandatory community service, the One Sport, One Club, One Uniform Body policy, and remote to foster cultural integration. These efforts align with the national education philosophy to develop well-rounded individuals. The last objective is to outline a comprehensive transformation program for the system, including key changes to the ministry. The strategy to empower JPNs, PPDs, and schools focuses on decentralizing decision-making so schools can tailor solutions to their local needs. The goal is to reduce underperformance, grow high-performing schools, and give more autonomy to capable ones. To support this, the ministry launched district-led improvement programs, prioritized infrastructure upgrades in high-need areas like Sabah and Sarawak, ensure equitable funding, and reassign staff to district levels for better support and monitoring.
Next, we will proceed with policy evaluation, which means we will look at what the policy did well and what problems still remain. We'll begin with the strengths, which are based on problems that the policy successfully addressed, which showed its effectiveness from Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025. First strength is reduce rural-urban education gap. The blueprint introduced targeted support for underperforming and rural schools. For example, more funding, better teacher placement, and infrastructure improvements. Reports from the Ministry of Education show narrowing gaps in student performance and resources between rural and urban areas. Next is improved English proficiency. English was made a focus area, especially with programs like the Highly Immersive Program, HIP, and better teacher training. Many schools reported improvements in students' confidence and performance in English. Meanwhile, the third strength comes from one of the main policy objectives, which has been successfully achieved. Current performance and challenges identified and addressed. It looked at the real challenges in the system like exam results, teaching quality, and student outcomes, and created some strong plans to fix them. This made the policy more focused and realistic. Now, let's look at the weaknesses. These include problems that are still unsolved and objectives that the policy failed to achieve. The first weakness is student performance in national tests like PISA and TIMSS is still low. Even after the blueprint started, Malaysian students continued to score below the global average in subjects like maths, science, and reading. This shows that learning quality still needs improvement. Next is teaching still focused too much on memorization. Many lessons were about remembering the facts instead of understanding ideas. This made it harder for students to develop creativity and critical thinking, which are very important in today's world.
I will proceed with the third weakness. Teachers lack proper training and ongoing support. Blueprint revealed that only 50% of lessons were considered effective. Teachers often don't receive the support needed to implement modern, student-centered approaches. Next, no clear system to track progress or hold schools accountable. The blueprint admits that the system lacks strong monitoring and accountability. It states policies were sometimes rolled out with inconsistent information or insufficient support and with outcome-based monitoring and follow-through. Then, resources were not used effectively. The blueprint stated that 6 billion ringgit was spent on ICT in education over a decade. 80% of teachers using ICT for less than 1 hour a week. This highlights a gap between resource allocation and actual classroom impact, showing a lack of strategic implementation. The sixth weakness, lack of clear vision and personalized aspirations for students. The blueprint aims to develop students holistically, but the overly centralized system makes it difficult to tailor learning experiences to individual needs. The last one, inadequate implementations of a comprehensive transformations program. The Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025 outlined ambitious reforms, its implementation faced significant challenges. This gap in leadership and execution hindered the realizations of the blueprint's comprehensive transformation goals.
Lastly, we will talk about policy recognition to solve the weaknesses we just discussed. To improve poor student performance in international tests like PISA and TIMSS, the curriculum reform aligned with global benchmarks by emphasizing critical thinking, problem solving, and real-world application over rote memorization. Exams should test higher order thinking, and core subjects should follow international benchmark to better prepare students for global challenges. To address the over-reliance on memorization in teaching, high-order thinking skills should be integrated across all subjects. Drawing inspiration from Singapore's Thinking Schools Learning Nation initiative, this approach focuses on developing students' critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving abilities. By encouraging activities that involve analysis, evaluation, and synthesis, students can move beyond rote learning and apply their knowledge effectively in real-world situations, fostering deeper understanding and innovation. To address weakness of teachers lacking proper training and ongoing support, it's recommended to follow Finland's approach. In Finland, teachers are required to have a master's degree in education, ensuring they have deep knowledge and expertise. Teaching education is also research-based, helping teachers use effective evidence-based methods. Additionally, Finland offers continuous professional development, where teachers regularly receive training and work together to improve their skills. Adopting this model will help improve the quality of teaching and support teachers in Malaysia throughout their careers.
To solve no clear system to track progress or hold schools accountable, introducing an Ofsted-style model is recommended. This system provides regular, independent inspections and clear performance reports. It helps track school progress, identifies areas for improvement, and ensures schools are held responsible for student outcomes. Learning Opportunities Grant (LOG) can be adopted to address the resources that not used effectively. LOG provides targeted funding to support students facing socio-economic challenges, ensuring resources are directed where they are most needed. This approach promotes equitable access to educational opportunities and enhances overall student achievement. To address the lack of clear vision and personalized aspiration for students, implementing individuals' learning plans (ILPs) is recommended. ILPs are tailored educational strategies designed to meet each student's unique needs, helping them progress at their own pace. This approach ensures that students have clear, personalized objectives and fostering engagement and better educational outcomes. To improve the last weakness, the Education Performance and Delivery Unit (PADU) is recommended. PADU functions as a dedicated transformation office within the Ministry of Education, overseeing the execution of initiatives outlined in the Malaysia Education Blueprint. It monitors progress, resolves bottlenecks, and ensures transparency through performance tracking. By integrating project management and stakeholders' engagement, PADU enhances the ministry's capacity to implement reforms effectively and achieve desired educational outcomes.
Based on the policy evaluation that we did, we can conclude that overall, as of this year 2025, the Malaysia Education Blueprint has not achieved its objective and is ineffective, as we render that there are more weaknesses in the policy compared to the strengths, with only 3 problems in the previous policy that the blueprint managed to overcome, with the remainder problems and objectives still at hand.